Hello, everyone, and I am very excited to share with you my educational technology internship presentation for my entire master's in the educational technology program at Loyola University. I want to first thank you guys for joining and listening to my presentation with the amazing work that I was able to accomplish in my internship this semester. So first, my name is Jody Baruchek, and I am a fourth-year special educator in Howard County Public School System. I am working, of course, towards this master's in educational technology. It has taken me the past 2.5 years, very, very consecutively, back to back, working on this degree. And I am currently a special educator, a academic life skills teacher at Murray Hill Middle School in Laurel, Maryland. I love playing softball, watching Disney movies, and of course, bettering myself as an educator during these super tough times that we are in as educators altogether. So today, I just wanted to introduce all of you. And we have Emily Richards, which is a cohort colleague of mine that we've worked super close, and she's going to recognize a lot of the materials, as well as Emily Beer, who is also a cohort colleague of mine. I've asked these ladies to join me because without them, I couldn't have done half of this internship and any of the key concepts for that matter. Also here is Amy McGinn, which is Loyola's internship advisor, who's overseen all of the materials that I've done during this internship, reflected with me along the process, as well as Jen Blasco, who is my Murray Hill Middle School administrator. She's a vice principal and has kind of overseen all of the internship things that I've been working on subtly and seeing how really it's been put into action with my special education students. And last but not least, I have Neil Wilkes, and she is a Loyola University ed tech professor that I've had and I've just bonded with over the course of these 2.5 years. She's opened my eyes to so many things. And it's just been a joy to, absorb all of this information from. So to dive in, I am just giving you an overview of my internship, which was my motto I came up with was to lead, to help, and to grow, especially in the world of special education. With these crazy COVID times and us being together, ed tech is so important and has been implemented in this school year. By far has helped me in so many ways. And I can't wait to, show you these 3 aspects of my internship. So the boring part, my objectives, but I am going to just subtly read these because they were so sculpted perfectly to these 3 items. So I wanted to increase my staff members' ability to use technology tools by training through a staff-wide professional development. I wanted to provide staff a Google Drive folder with digital resources to help them with their teaching, and also establish myself as a resource or mentor that is flexible to support staff in furthering their digital resource use in their classrooms. And I did it. So I was able to lead a professional development with coworkers at Murray Hill Middle School during our pre-service training days, which was phenomenal. I was able to help develop a Google Drive hub that contained modified digital resources for any educator to access in Howard County Public School System. And I grew into becoming a resource or mentor that is flexible to support my staff in furthering their digital resource use in the classrooms. This is where I collaboratively came up with lead, help, and grow. So to dive even further into these topics, I led a professional development. This was by far the most eye-opening experience with the staff at Murray Hill Middle School in September when we were like, what are we gonna do? So having that ed tech background, I wanted to lead. I wanted to show what I've learned in this program. So my administrator reached out and said, does anyone want to collaborate in presenting during our pre-service days. So two other coworkers of mine did the very basic level with Google tools, tech tools that we could really just, get to the point of navigating Google Meet, Google Drive, the things that are so key in organization, as well as getting into those tough topics of teaching live action with kids. I was able to take in reflection pieces, and even better, we were able to perform a tech committee. These were teachers that were able to meet on a daily basis, talk about what problems educators were having with now being forced to use technology in their teaching. We meet and we met every week to discuss these points. And that is still going to today. To dive in more with my solo project that I did by myself in my internship, I created this Google Drive hub. And the hub is the central one-stop shop for digital resources and for digital modified resources in special education. Special educators are left out when it comes to building resources and modificating on the fly. And I wanted to create this hub that stored all of it. Anything that was needed to be implemented in technology education across the board, from ELA to related arts. I've made and modified all of the program's curriculum for special ed kids, for the lowest of the low to just the subtle modification. And in my website that I've created, I dive in more to what this hub entails. I show you resources that I've created, and it's a great one-stop shop. I was able to reflect with the people that I was implementing with over the course of our entire semester, and it worked. And last, I was able to grow into becoming a resource for teachers. I am able to be a mentor to my para-educator and how to teach her how to make modifications on the fly in a digital manner. Also, I've been the young buck for other staff members that have been how to copy and paste just when they were in teaching and seminars and they needed that tech tool hip. I was that person. I was the go-to. I was the tech geek, as some people have called me. So on top of all of these three things, I was able to also touch on 5 key concepts that Loyola has outlined for us. And those 5 key concepts were the following things. For concept key point 5.1, I was able to develop an online facilitation plan based on best practices of online learning and teaching that demonstrates my ability to teach online. It was a great thing that I was able to dive into and facilitate across the board in my program. In 7.1, I was able to really dive into this technology aspect, but also connect it to actual models of technology, such as SAMR, TPAC, and TIMS, which are all abbreviated. Emily can touch on all of those key concepts that we learned over the 2.5 years, and actually then how to demonstrate it in digital technology or virtual learning. This improved my teaching and my learning so much that I was able to really dive in to not only TPAC, but SAMR. And with TPAC, that's the technology part that I was so interested in connecting with special education. That cross-referencing of all of those compact concepts in TPAC to bring out multiple means of engagement, multiple means of representation, and multiple means of action. Then to jump over into 14.2, I was able to demonstrate the ability to lead technology initiatives at the school level. I was able to collaborate with my colleagues and create a professional development that was able to continue on over this virtual time. In 15.1, I was able to apply these models that I spoke of earlier into professional learning and to begin changing the process of change in my school. Getting special ed into gen ed curriculum, that modified, overlapping is so tough. And now that we're not in person, it's even tougher. So to be able to combine those two worlds almost with a model and this professional development, it was able to open up gen ed's eyes of how much modifying goes into a special educator's job when we're in brick and mortar. When we're not in brick and mortar and we're in this digital world, they almost get a peek at how much we're modifying, how much we're teaching to the specific child, and then also now incorporating this educational technology or this digital aspect into those things. And last but not least, 17.1 is a very, very deep love of mine, and I find myself furthering myself in this key concept, and that is to actually locate a variety of tech resources, evaluate them for what they actually are for classroom usage, and then assist colleagues with this process. You don't know how many times I sat on the phone dissecting classroom materials to be like, is this going to work or not work? And then also talking with my colleagues who did implement it to be like, let's reflect. Did that work? Did that link work? Did that child know how to implement that tech tool in their learning to show what they actually gained, what knowledge they were able to bring to the table? And to have that all done over a computer was something that I never thought in special ed I was going to be able to do. I thought it was going to be a waste of time, but it works. And being able to have this internship to develop resources to then actually gain work samples and product and learning from this population of student was something I never in my wildest daydreams thought would actually occur. And this just dives into what I'd learned. I learned so much in a short amount of time, and forcefully, I think all educators had to do this. But the biggest thing that I learned is everything changes in education all the time. One day we would start working on something and use a tech tool, and then the county would say, nope, we're not doing it. Or I'd set up a way and reflect and say, no, we have to change gears. We have to do something different. The next point that I want to touch on is the hub was a giant success. Implementing it even with my paraeducators in my own small program was so much better and organization-based with even things that I didn't think would come about. There was a time when we had a co-teacher out, and the hub was a resource for a substitute to navigate through that for all of our lesson plans. It was amazing to see this in action. But the biggest thing that I really did learn in all of this is technology is first not the solution to everything, and it isn't perfect. There are going to be errors, Wi-Fi outages, and links that don't work. But as an educator, our key is to gain that patience that we need as educators. We need to understand that not everything's going to work 100% of the time, but it's how we manage it and understand, which makes us a better educator for our students. We're all human. Some improvements that I would recommend. I would love to show our projects that are formulated out all in this master's program to kind of be combined to maybe share with undergraduates in the Loyola Education Program for reflections. I would love to have as I say, young buck look at my project and be like, wow, I think this would work in this type of setting. See it in action. Have someone review the actual presentation and be like, I want to further this with my own studies. The next thing I would want to do is branch out with the hub. I primarily, in my internship, only used it solely in the ALS, Academic Life Skills program. I would like to spread it out to my school and countywide. Start to collaborate with people putting different documents in. The more, the better. People don't understand the power of people coming together and giving teachers resources, helping people helping people in this time. And I really saw that this hub was able to really start to grow and be able to share and organize over this tech tool time. And to slowly wrap up my actions is that I want to keep going with this. This is something that, of course, I say I've spent as much time. I've spent 2.5 years on this. Why stop now? And now, with us being in a total distant learning setting, EdTech couldn't have been more helpful in my time as an educator than anything else in my world. I've learned so much from this EdTech program that I can implement, and it was useful and helpful and actually made me a better educator. I want to continue this and share it in my future actions. And this is a very interesting quote that I came across halfway through in the stresses of managing digital learning, internship, work, home life. And it is, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And this was from Winston Churchill. And I have this up on my board to remind me that I have to keep going. The mistakes are going to come. They're not going to end my life. And that picking yourself back up after those failures and having that courage to continue on with whatever you do, whether it's the EdTech program, your work that you're doing in schools, your education, profession. It is really that courage that makes you a better educator for these students. I would like to thank you all so, so much. Each of you I could individually point out and tell you one thing that has made me a better educator from the wisdom that I've got from each of you. These 2.5 years have flown by, and I can only say in so many words my appreciation that I have for all of your help, your guidance, and your reviewal of this internship. I am so grateful for all of the things that I've learned from Loyola, and I can't wait to continue on with them. I am so, 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 so thankful for all of you. And I hope that you enjoy looking over my internship, my website with all of my key concepts of everything that I've dived down into these 2.5 years. And in the chat box, I'm actually going to give you a survey on this presentation. I want to know what you thought, what more you want to see. When you want to see more, I'm also going to post a link to my website that I've made, literally mapping out everything I've done in my internship, from projects to webinars to implemented key concept things that I've made for my special education students, those digital resources, how to use them and embed them. They are all on this website. And I encourage you to read over it. It is way more than a 15-20 minute presentation to share all of the hard work that I've really done. And I encourage you guys to take a look at it. So thank you again so, so much for all of your work that you've done with me.